And now, back to PTR Radio with Mike the Ape Man. Mike the Ape Man.
My mother had one of those Euro sealers, and I swear to Christ, she tried to Euro seal everything. I was afraid to piss my pants, afraid she'd try and Euro seal my dick. I swear to God, she fucking used that thing on everything.
PTR Radio.
Welcome to another edition of PTR Radio here on the fabulous interweb. Mike, I know how much you love that intro.
Yeah, I absolutely love that intro.
Oh. Sorry, I was in a hurry. I just had to pick something.
I understand.
I think it's better than he now returned to after, a 2-week outage.
Well, put it this way, Mike. It hasn't been played as much as Indicted has.
This is very true, because we don't have another one for Colin.
Yeah, we do. We have Colin's my favorite host.
Well, okay, but that's Steven.
Yeah.
Speaking. That's not...
Yeah. All right. That's an abrupt end, but whatever. Okay. So this is how this show is going to be tonight. We have some big announcements for this evening, so I hope everyone is tuned in. We're going to give those in about 10 minutes. In about 10 minutes, we'll have a big announcement that should have everybody an opportunity to both jump in on the show, as well as that way you can text all your friends, message them, whatever, and say, hey, listen, PTR's got a big announcement, so that they can all tune in live, because this you will not want to miss. But first, while we're waiting for 10 minutes to elapse, I broke my phone. I broke it in my phone. It doesn't show up real well on camera, but it's cracked all to hell. Good news, though, is we can still take phone calls. So don't forget to call into the show, 877-787-8822. That's how you can get in touch with the show. Or, as always, you can tweet at us at PTR Radio or Facebook, and now also YouTube. So Mike is watching all of those.
Oh.
Yep, and those all should be good to go.
Now, you cracked the screen.
I cracked the screen.
Did you crack the back?
No.
Because the screen is actually cheaper to fix than the back is.
Well, the screen, you know what? I have because I'm an AT&T customer, and because I have a wife and a daughter who are klutzes, I went ahead and just bought the multi-device insurance plan for AT&T. And I've been paying for it for a long time and never have had a claim. So I probably could have bought this phone 3 or 4 times over by now with how much I've paid in that thing, because it's $35 a month.
Ooh.
But it covers up to 5 devices in your house.
I was going to say, that's multiple devices. That's not a per line.
Right. It is not a per line. That covers up to 5 devices in your home. And what's weird is they don't make you say what devices. But they say, oh, it can handle a laptop, it can handle a phone, it can handle a tablet, it can handle whatever you got. 5 devices. I'm like...
Well, as soon as you put a claim in on a device, that counts as 1.
Right. But it's like, okay, but it's a revolving thing, It just means I have 5 devices covered at any one time. It's not like 5 strikes and you're out, from what I can read.
I can't comment because I haven't read it. I don't know.
Yeah. But, there's nothing on there that says, and what's weird is everything it says, what is the phone number of the device? Well, if I'm dealing with a tablet that doesn't have a SIM card in it, there's no phone number. So I don't know how I could fill that field in. But yeah. So anyway, I broke the phone, but I broke the phone for a good reason. And if you were watching our YouTube channel today, you might have seen the reason. And the reason is for the bird cam. So, George and Gracie, the nice couple who come to my porch every year to have their kids, they have once again established their place on my porch in their hanging basket. And so I was going to have Mike make a plaque, because I know how Mike loves to make those plaques, with the routed out signage and everything.
Okay.
I was gonna write, home sweet nest or something, nest sweet nest or something like that, and then put George and Gracie underneath that. But I'm like, you know what? Right now they're already in there. I'll spook them if I get too close. So for next year, and also for next year, I've already decided I'm gonna put another camera.
Okay.
Because I had,
and this is fine, because then when the weather is warmer, you know, my workshop is my backyard. So when the weather is warmer, I can go ahead and create this sign for you in preparation for next year.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Some people have an eagle cam. We have are they doves?
They're mourning doves, not to be confused with
Dove
turtle doves. They are different. So, let's see. There it is. So, at some point during the show, I will actually show you what the bird cam is looking at. But if you did happen to see, did we just get a voicemail in, Mike?
Did we?
I just saw a voicemail come in, but I got the phone on, so we should be routing calls through. But you know, the thing is, so the requirement from the wife, because I had a PTZ camera all ironed out for this, and it was a mini PTZ camera, that I was going to put on there, and it was a 10x zoom. It says I got one at 604 for 10 seconds. Let's see who it might have been.
Yeah, nothing came through. I just played it.
Okay, so it was just empty?
Yep.
All right, well, that's boring.
Wireless caller, unlike these other conference calls that I've been going in and blocking beyond. When the block list for our 877 number is longer than the block list for my personal phone number.
Yeah. So I had a PTZ with the 10X with the IR sensor and everything, but the wife says that's too gaudy to put on the front of the house. So I'm like, fine, I will find another one. No, I'm like, I don't understand what you mean. I could be able to look halfway down the block with this camera and it'd be perfect. You know, nobody's going to break into our cars or disrupt my birds. I could see right into that nest.
Start posting pictures onto that neighborhood.
Yeah.
Message board.
Son of a bitch, you beat me to it.
I could find all the stray cats. So I went and found I went and found a small dome-style camera, like the kind you'd find in businesses and whatnot. All right,
okay.
That happened to be a PTZ with IR and a zoom and a 3x zoom, which is not enough zoom. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not enough zoom. All right, of course, the only place that has it, China. All right, got to order it. 6 weeks is what it took to get here. 6 weeks. Slow boat, DHL. And the box looked like they used it as a soccer ball. So I was highly doubtful that it was even going to work. But it did work. So now I got my bird cam. And now the other PTZ is going in the backyard. Which the wife already gave the okay. She's like, well, I don't care if it's in the backyard. What? Okay, whatever. Fine. I'm putting it in the backyard. She goes, well, then you can see the bunnies so that the dog doesn't eat them. Yeah, because it has
then
that type of detection.
You'll have footage.
Yeah,
of the dog catching the bunnies.
That'll be the bunny. That'll be the bunny kill cam. That's what that'll be. So had a bunch of stuff like that go on, and but in doing so, broke my phone because, well, to put this camera up required a ladder to get to the attic ladder to get to the attic. And then crawl space work. So I couldn't have envisioned any more work for this one single camera.
Yes.
It was a lot of work for one camera, but I get to watch my birds. And now I've got a PoE switch out in the garage on a gig link. So I can wire up my garage now if I want to. And don't you need wired internet in your garage?
Of course.
Yeah, of course. So the reason I asked is because my mom got the same phone,
Mm-hmm.
and she was slightly worried about the back being
glass. Yeah.
So the fact that you've shattered the front and not the back, just
well, let me tell you this: shatter the back if you have an option, because to replace the back is $84.
Really?
Yeah. Do you know how much it is to replace the front? If you want to go through and do a glass replacement on the front, $240.
Yeah.
Because of the curve.
Yeah. Pretty much because everything is built into that glass. I guess the camera is non-separatable, the digitizer, so much stuff is built in. Just wait till soon they put the fingerprint reader in under the glass, and then it won't be able to be removed either. You know, California is working on trying to do a right to repair bill right now. It's pretty much useless. I don't know anybody that could, you know, really fix. I don't know a person, because that's what they're saying, is they're saying that a person at home should be able to fix their phone.
No, what they're saying is a person at home should be sold the parts to fix it at home.
Well, right, but there are very few people,
Yes.
I think, that are going to be qualified. That's why we have repair centers.
Yes. But they're also saying, basically, if you want to operate your own repair center, then the manufacturer should sell you the parts.
You shouldn't have to be authorized, is what they're saying.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
They're not saying that the device itself should be designed to be easy to repair.
Right.
Because that would be impossible to enforce.
Right. I kind of agree with that. But so it is now 6:15, 7:15 Eastern. So we will get into the big news announcement. And so I'm looking for feedback on you guys, because you guys don't. I kept you in the dark.
Yes.
All right. You guys don't know what the announcement is. All right. Went back and forth with a representative, not congressional, but a corporate representative, a PR representative, this last week. And I can officially say now, with corporate approval, that Ski is the official soda of PTR Radio.
Okay, that's pretty awesome.
All right. I can also say that the next ski run for PTR Radio has been sponsored by Ski. All right. If you look, Ski the Double Cola Company, sent us vouchers for Ski products. And I am ironing out the details for a special PTR Radio listener giveaway from Ski. All right. Those details will be forthcoming. The representative from their company and I are working on what all the details are going to be. I will tell you it's going to be some type of social media campaign where you guys will be involved, and there will be a real prize given away, not just a box of randomness, but a real prize given away to anyone who is interested in one. And Mike, this is also why I needed your shirt size, because you are going to get sent some ski gear.
Okay.
So they have graciously donated a few things for us to give away to listeners, and some for ourselves. And the shirt that you are going to receive in the mail is one of the things that they sent for us.
Okay, you guys get a bunch of free soda. I get a shirt.
Nope.
For a brand that I can't even get around here.
Some of this voucher was specifically aimed at being able to send you some products.
Oh.
I told them I would take care of the shipping of the product. I just needed, you know, if they would be willing, help us out a little bit in procuring it. So, Mike, you're getting some soda.
I'm getting some ski.
So,
all right.
I will tell you guys that, like I said, I'm very excited about this.
So
I'm curious what you guys think.
Well, here's my first question. Because it occurred to me after my event on Friday, which we can talk about, that I need to make a new table cover.
Mm-hmm.
Because a 4-foot table is no longer adequate. I need a 6-foot DJ surface platform. Yeah. So I'm going to have to make a new cover, which includes my new sponsored by. Mm-hmm. So does our agreement give me the right to put the Ski logo?
Not yet. We have to get approval from the vice president.
Oh.
And I completely understand why. They told me why. They've had some people that they were associated with misrepresent their brand and sell products with their logos on them. And I said, listen, you know, we've had listeners go out and do things on our behalf that we didn't agree with. So we know where they're coming from. So I told them if there's any paperwork that needs signed or anything before we would have rights to do that, then let me know, and I'll be more than happy to do anything that we need done. Okay. So we're just waiting on the... I did ask that because I told them that I wanted to give them a representation on our website when it gets redone for helping us out. And so we're just waiting on the okay, and then they will send us the logo work, and we would be able to do that if we get the okay.
Okay, next question.
Mm-hmm.
Will there be any commercials that we'll have to be in?
We'll have to be in, or we'll get to be in, Mike?
Well, both.
You know, I'm really thinking, you know, that we should do something for them once we iron out the details of the giveaway. I'm thinking, especially given our video format right now, I can see us passing a ski back and forth between the grids. A little bit of constructive editing, I think, could be done so that I could hand Colin a ski, and then he could hand it down to you, and you could hand it back to me, and, you know, that could be kind of fun.
Yeah, I just would like drop out of the sky.
So, you know, I think that we could definitely do something that could be fun for them.
Yeah,
and
I think so.
So I definitely think whatever the social media campaign is that we get worked into, I think we should be involved.
Yeah,
I mean, it's going to be our contest, so we will be involved.
If nothing else, we'll have something good to drink.
Yeah, and like they you know, it'll be interesting to see how it goes. This could be a one-time thing. If we have good response, it could be an ongoing thing, and that's always what we're looking for. So, you know, this is one. We get this one done, and then we move on to the next, and the next, and the next, and next thing you know,
we have a 10-episode series pilot for Netflix.
That's right. Hey, they really are bringing everybody and their brother on, so I don't see why they couldn't bring us on. I saw a headline today that Barack Obama may be doing a series pilot on Netflix.
Come on. Okay, he was the president, all right? We're PTR.
But you're saying we're not as relevant?
Saying we're more relevant.
All right, see, exactly.
And truthfully, we probably wouldn't cost as much either.
No. I think honestly, do a little editing to these videos, put it up there.
I think honestly, the only thing that would make me more angry than the news of hearing Barack Obama's getting a Netflix special before we do, or a Netflix show before we do, if Keenan Cahill, and if you don't know who he is, just look on YouTube. All right, he's a young little dude who lip syncs videos, but apparently now he does his own music too. I don't know how. Not that interesting.
Why does he look like Rick Moranis in some of his pictures?
He really does, doesn't he?
Yeah, he looks like baby Rick Moranis. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know why we couldn't be just as big. And think of the back catalog they'd already have. I mean, you know, almost 15 seasons.
We're a show that could go into syndication day one.
That's right. And we're pretty cheap. You know? We're pretty I'll say it, we're cheap. You know? And maybe we ask for a new studio. 2 new studios. You know.
I would settle for a little better gear, maybe help hook us up with a direct VPN connection so the audio quality is perfect.
You know, I'm sure that we could do something. A small budget.
It's relatively cheap. I mean, come on.
It costs less than one of their comedy specials. You know?
Probably.
Netflix, CBS. It could be every channel but ABC.
Well, you know,
Why?
Because you are boycotting anything Disney.
That's well, until they get the roller coaster in Florida.
Now, what he's talking about is Mike came across a Tron roller coaster, which we will not show the video of on screen because 1, copyright, 2, we would have to splash the world's largest epileptic seizure warning before we were to play it. They have warning. Is it Swift or Sway or what is that one in Disney Orlando where you go from one coast to the other? in like a hang glider. What?
Soarin'.
Okay. The whole time you're in line, all right, every 2 minutes, they're saying, if you get motion sick even a little, this ride is not for you. Okay? Well, the ride you're talking about, the Tron ride, all right, in Disney Shanghai, should say, hey, head hurt a little bit, step out of line. All right? Because you're going to want to take a drill to it by the time we're done. All right? Or don't like flashbulbs? Not the place for you.
Well, let's just describe it a little bit. The thing that makes this most interesting, it's a Tron roller coaster, yes, but instead of sitting on a car, or in a car like you do in normal roller coasters, or sitting in a seat like some of those overhead ones that are starting to get popular, you are sitting on a light cycle.
Yeah, you're sitting in like a wheelchair light cycle, Mike. I mean, this is like, I don't know where the handicap parking of Tron is, but that's what you're riding
at
here.
The back of the coaster. There's a couple regular cars at the back.
Okay.
We can sit normally. Now, here's my question, Mike. Because I don't think your boycott is going to work. But here's my question. What would end your boycott? Like them announcing they're going to put it in, them starting construction and what they're going to put in. What actually is going to end the boycott for you?
Either I need to know that they're going to start construction, or, well, one of three things. I want to hear a groundbreaking construction date on it.
Yep.
I want to hear that Disney is moving forward with a new Tron movie.
Didn't the last Tron movie kind of tank, though?
Yeah, well, listen, it was okay, but shut up.
All right.
I want
the best movies. I listened to that soundtrack too many times.
Okay.
Well, I want to know. I want to know what happened to Cora. Was that her name, Cora? I want to know what happened to Cora in the real world.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of those three things has to happen.
So, well, that's two. Okay. The third would be you got to put me up at the Star Wars place for a week so I can do a review on PTR. So it's one of those three things that has to happen for me to not boycott Disney.
Okay. Now, I am messing with you.
Of course you are.
The Magic Kingdom version of Tron was actually announced last July, and ground broke last month.
For that ride?
For that ride.
Really?
It's being put in next to Space Mountain behind the little go-kart area.
Okay, now you got to get me there to... Now I'm going to have to go there to test it. I got to do it.
It's going to be a couple years because even though they've started construction, it's meant to be opened for the is it the 50th anniversary? Anyway, the anniversary of the opening of Magic Kingdom.
Okay.
It's coming up in, I think, 2022.
Well, I find it very strange that they're doing this, but the movie really... How long ago was Tron Legacy made?
It was huge.
It's Disney World's 50th anniversary, which is in 2021.
2021?
Is when they're looking at.
So it's supposed to be complete and open by 2021.
Okay.
Colin... Groundbreaking was back in February.
Colin, are you sponsored by Diet Mountain Dew or Ski?
Well, obviously I prefer to be having Ski, but...
The ink is not dry on the contract yet. Therefore, we can show other drinks on camera. Yeah, that's a good question. Mm-hmm. If we're sponsored by Ski...
Well, hold on. We're not sponsored by them. All right, because that would infer
the show. That's right. They are the official drink of...
The official drink, yes. It's just like Bud Light may be the official drink of a morning radio show, okay? But they're not drinking at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
All right.
So, yeah, we're going to need to work out the details on that because, I mean, obviously if we're drinking out of a cup... Ironically, I'm talking about boycotting Disney, and you see what coffee cup I'm drinking out of tonight, right?
Yeah.
You know? But, so, will we have to red Solo cup anything other than Ski? If it's a soft drink?
I don't know. Well, and here's the thing, Mike. I am actually looking at... They have a wide variety of products. All right, don't think that their diet ski is all that's on the market. All right, so they obviously have ski, which we're used to. They diet ski, which is what Colin and I had. They have regular ski. That's the orange and lime combination. Okay, but then they also have cherry ski.
Okay.
All right, they have double cola, which is actually the parent company, and they actually also have what they're calling, I think it's infrared, which is, I think it's similar to the other company's Code Red. So I might do a little bit of a mix and match and send you kind of like a sampler set.
Well, that would be awesome.
So, because we want a variety here. If we ever have guests in studio, we want to make sure that they have a drink that they're comfortable with. And same with you, Mike. You've had guests in studio before.
Once, yes. Twice.
Oh, they have fruit flavors called Jumbo.
Yep. So they have an energy drink line. I mean, they have all kinds of this. The Double Cola Company has all kinds of things.
Okay, now I got to look this one up because this could be a problem here. I've already got unofficial. I'm already unofficially part of the Monster Army, so this could be a problem here.
So,
Yeah, their monster thing is called Quad Energy.
Yes. So, anyway, that's like I said, that's all getting worked out. They even have a line of coconut water drinks, Mike.
Menoku.
Mm-hmm.
That I could do with that. All right, let's see.
Now, while Mike's looking that up, let's go through. All right, Alexa's piping up now. By the way, did anybody have Alexa laughing out loud last week?
No, but
I don't know if I did or I didn't.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you why. Because Kim started a part-time job last week. And a couple of times while she was at work, the dog started barking for no reason. The dogs were hanging out in the room where Alexa is. So it is very possible that Alexa started cackling or laughing or snickering or doing whatever Alexa does, and the dogs freaked out about it.
Yeah.
But, of course, I have no way of knowing this. I wish I could log into my Alexa app and see, like in recent activity, Alexa cackled.
Yeah. Alexa called me an ass. I mean, it's just for no reason whatsoever. Every once in a while, I will say she does pick up stuff that I didn't even utter anything close to her name, and she'll just on and start saying, "I don't understand what you're asking for." That's because I didn't ask for anything. So, technology is great when it works. I think we can all agree to that. But I did also see a survey that said the rise of the smart speaker is upon us. I mean, they're really gaining traction now. I guess the Christmas season is, Christmas season and after Christmas specials really saw a huge boom in them, and everybody's finally hooking them up. And they're just going all over the place. So,
yeah,
not so much the ones with screens yet, though. Like the Spot and then the display one, those haven't taken off, and I'm kind of torn on whether I want the Spot or not. I kind of like it as an alarm clock.
Well, the Spot would be cool if you're able to use it as an intercom system.
Which you can.
Within your house. Okay, so since you have that, which brings me to my next point, that I'm waiting until the next holiday sales to pick up a Google Home Mini.
Yeah.
Because they were selling for $29 before Christmas. Now they're $49. I don't need it that bad. But I don't want to get another Dot because of that intercom ability. I don't want Kim to be able to have Alexa ask me what I'm doing down here.
Well,
I don't want... Well, don't matter. I don't want that...
Well, he doesn't want Kim to be offended that he's not answering her calls. I mean, that would be as rude as not answering her text messages.
No, just you don't allow drop-ins.
Oh.
And then the minute she sees it on a commercial, she's going to be like, how come ours won't do that? And then
yeah,
it's game over.
You can tell who's single.
No,
I was in the crawl space on my stomach trying to fish a wire. The wife is texting me, doesn't get a response because I physically can't get to the phone in my pocket.
Is this busy getting crushed?
It's busy getting crushed. And, I'm contorted in this odd angle. I start hearing her yell upstairs, "Where are you? Where are you? Where are you?" Finally, I do stake my hand back far enough, throw it to my grandson and say, "Tell her I'm in the damn crawl space."
So the problem is you allowed your grandson to give it back to you.
No, I said keep it because she's going to say, "What?"
Oh, so it was pre-cracked.
No, it wasn't cracked at that point yet. It wasn't cracked at that point yet. The whip was pre-cracked, but not the phone.
The problem was you shouldn't have got it back from him.
It was just a nightmare. The whole thing was a nightmare. Yep. Man.
Right, got good pictures of birds.
I got good pictures of birds now. Well, I have okay pictures. Like I said, I'm not satisfied with the zoom. I'm actually going to put another camera up in the corner just so that I can get a better picture of the bird, but I got to find a better camera. Yeah, I want to find one of those little like lipstick cameras. You know what I'm talking about? That's really just a little tube-looking thing.
Yeah.
But I got to find an outdoor one that it doesn't have to have an IR emitter on it, but it needs to be able to do day-night. And it has to be PoE because I don't like running electricity all the way up there. So, and that'll be another fun adventure. Always is. But that'll also give me a better door camera because my wife does like being able to see who's at the door. So, anyway.
Mama Blair said it sounded reasonable to you.
Yeah.
Or to her, so. That's all the approval you need, damn it.
I know. Just wait, because I'm telling you what. Like I said, I live streamed the bird for a little bit today on YouTube, and so I will have a stream running. Like I said, if not this year, I will definitely have it next year. Because what happens is, so they have their kids, and then 2 weeks later, the kids leave the nest. The parents stick around because they're ready to get busy again. They go through 2 or 3 cycles, and then they're done. All right, so let's talk about what scientific breakthroughs we're going to see in our lifetime. I think this will be a good one since we were just talking about Alexa. And we would have, 30 years ago, if somebody has said, hey, you're going to have a speaker in your house that you're going to be able to ask questions of, she's going to laugh at you first, and then she's going to tell you what you asked for. Would you have thought of it? I mean, other than seeing it on Star Trek.
I have a quick story.
Okay.
That is related to this question. So over the weekend, I stopped and got myself some lunch. And I decided, you know what? I'm enjoying listening to this book in my car. I'm just going to sit in my car, listen to my book, and eat this food. And this is just fewer information, Shaggy, if anybody would know. I decided to sit in the Fair Hills Mall parking lot over by the corner, So I'm sitting there eating my food, and I see movement out of my left eye. I look out the window, and I'm like, crap. There's a guy walking towards the car, big wad of papers in his hand. He's obviously going around sticking under people's windshield wipers. And I'm like, oh no, he's going to want to talk to me. I don't feel like talking to people. So he gets closer, and he starts, waving his hand, like to get my attention, make me, put down the window. And I'm just like, I look at my mirrors real quick. No one's coming. I put my food down, foot on the brake, shifted to the drive, and hammered myself out of there. And as I was driving along, he was coming up to the car, and I just took off. And as I was going away, I started laughing as I was giving him the mental finger. And I realized how strange that must have been for him. Because, as a reminder, I have an Accord Hybrid. And it was warmish that day, so there was no reason for so my car was sitting there making absolutely no sound whatsoever, as if the car wasn't even on. It was just sitting there. And as he walks up, suddenly the car just blast away full speed. Probably still not making any sound.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I was going, that must have been pretty weird for him. This car just silently disappears. I'm thinking, so I was thinking, technological breakthrough.
Yeah.
We now can have cars that can take off making no sound.
Yeah.
Well, think about it. Hybrids are the ultimate, surveillance cars now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You can sneak up on somebody. It's no more when you're rolling in the driveway. You got to shut the engine off, so your parents don't hear you.
Yeah.
Now you're on night.
That's what I was thinking. Sneaking home late at night when you shouldn't be out. Although pair that with the fact of now we have cameras everywhere around our house for surveillance, and I know when you came home because I can look in the morning and say, "Hey, there was activity at my front door."
Yeah.
That's when you have that Find My Phone family map thing.
Yeah. So but all right. So here are a list of technological advances. Now this was a survey done to more than 14,000 people, and this is just a small thing. A cure for cancer. Do you guys think it's going to happen within our lifetime? Now they don't say which specific cancer, so let's just go broad range. Do you think we will be able to cure any cancer? Any major one?
Sure. Yes.
All right.
I'm of the opinion that we already have, and the cure is being kept hidden by Big Pharma. So
Mike is a conspiracy theorist.
For this one, yes.
And you know what? I'm with you. All right. I am actually. I've got my little toe in that pool of, hey, it makes too much sense not to be true. All right? That the rich and the powerful have access to it, and the poor people don't.
So why do the rich and powerful keep dying of cancer?
Well,
wait, excuse me? What's her name? Valerie Harper? She was on my death pool picks 2 years in a row for terminal brain cancer. Guess what? She's still kicking.
Scott Hamilton.
It's 4 years later. You want to know why? Probably three letters. CBD. Boom. Mic dropped.
Not only that, but what?
Okay.
Because Valerie Harper is so rich and powerful.
Oh, what about Magic Johnson? AIDS. He slept with thousands of women. Still,
he had
AIDS is pretty well taken care of nowadays. As long as you're on the medicines and stuff, you're fine.
Well, yeah, but when he had it, it wasn't. And he lived a long time until they came up with a widely available, treatment.
But he was always HIV positive.
Yes.
He never actually had AIDS, they're two separate things.
There is, okay. Yes, there is a difference.
Yeah. Now, if he had gotten into full-blown AIDS and then recovered, then I'd say maybe there's nothing there. But
all right. Next one. Robots at work. I think I would only guess what they're talking about is Westworld style robots.
Yeah, because I already have robots at work.
Interactive robots, hey Chip, how's it going?
Like those Boston Dynamics things that.
Yeah, like those horses that people kick for fun. Yeah.
The hamburger flipping robot that they had over the weekend and then turned back off again. Yeah.
So we can all agree that we kind of have those now, and they're probably only going to get better.
Yeah. I mean, they are already taking away people's jobs.
All right. And the next one's kind of along the same. Robots in every home. Well, if you count the vacuum cleaners.
Yes.
Or poo spreaders, depending upon if you have pets.
Yes.
All right.
Or Alexa.
Yeah. Then we kind of do have those already.
Yes.
So, again, I can only see those getting better and better.
Yes.
Next one. Flying cars.
Unlikely.
We can't get autonomous ground vehicles.
Well, okay.
To work.
No, they're getting pretty good.
I mean, they're getting good.
I'm going to put this in the cure for cancer category that we're going to see them, but they're going to be so expensive to not just own, but to operate.
Yeah,
that
not widely available.
Right.
I think flying drones, sure. Flying cars, I think, is a pipe dream. Much more likely are all the things Elon Musk is working on.
So like Hyperloop and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's much, much more likely.
All right, next one. Living under the sea. Now, so this is like
Sequest DSV.
Sequest DSV is what I was exactly thinking that. I'm like, all right, so we run out of room on land, or we're going to start plundering the depths of the sea, which there isn't. Wasn't it true that there actually is more room under the sea than there is on land?
Yeah, but it's also under the sea.
Yeah, it
Okay.
is a hostile environment for us to be. It's actually worse than space.
So we have two issues with this.
Uh-huh.
Well, again, rich and famous.
Yeah. Well,
But-
James Cameron has gone down under the sea, so he
Well-
can afford it.
But one time Colin ruined one of my favorite movies, The Day After Tomorrow, by saying, "Well, where did all of this water come from?"
Okay, for a second, I
That-
thought you were going to
but-
say The Little Mermaid.
And basic displacement theory says if you build these giant metropolises under the sea for a significant amount of people to live, that will raise the water level. So
So you're
the day
saying,
after tomorrow is not the fact. It wasn't just a climate issue. It was the fact that they built this giant city in Japan and when they submerged it, it raised the water level to flood New York.
okay. It makes perfect sense to me. All right, next one.
I'd love to see the math on that, Mike.
All right, now, I don't know that this will happen in our lifetime. If it does, it's going to be towards the tail end of it, because we're all in the 40 area somewhere, either the beginning or the middle. All right, traveling to and living on Mars.
To me, this is two different things.
All right,
You can't. Traveling to. I think we're going to see a mission to Mars in our lifetime, and I think that people are going to set foot on Mars. But living on Mars,
yeah, it comes with a completely. We don't live on the moon yet.
no.
It's actually it might be easier to live on Mars. I will say it's perfectly possible in my lifetime that somebody will live on Mars. How long they last before they give up?
Yeah, some people have said,
Secondary
okay, you've got like
Fair
2
enough.
months. 2 months, and then radiation's going to kill you. All right, next one. Controlling the weather.
No.
Anybody think the crappy Avengers movie is going to happen? That Sean Connery is going to be able to control the weather? I don't think so.
No.
We can't even predict the weather, let alone control it.
Exactly. 33%.
I mean, we've all watched Sharknado. We know you can't control those things.
no, wait,
33% of the people interviewed think that Trump caused all of the floods and hurricanes and stuff. That the government is already controlling the weather. These are the people that think the same way I do about the cure for cancer. Okay,
They're with Kanye. They don't think George Bush likes black people.
Actually, I take it back. I 100% believe that we are controlling the weather.
Okay.
If by controlling the weather you mean like,
Inside our house.
making the entire planet warmer,
Okay.
then obviously.
All right. Then we are. All right.
Now, micro controlling the weather, like making it rain today, no.
Now the next two, the next one, I don't see telepathy.
No.
Okay, one, we're not going to create it. I don't think by any
Either
means of
exists or it
gene
doesn't.
splicing or anything we're going to be able to make it.
here's where I think this could happen.
Okay.
Not the typical ESP mind reading kind of telepathy. I think that after 5G wireless,
We're going to go to 6G telepathy.
direct implants that transmit thoughts to a person are going to be developed.
Okay, let
Yeah,
me tell you a
I will
story.
give you that. I will give you
Let
that.
me tell you a story, and I am not making fun of this boy, okay? I'm not. It was just a little bit odd to see. I was over at Golden Corral because I'm white trash and I like to eat all you can eat. All right. And I saw this kid walking around, young kid, probably 8, maybe 10. All right. I thought he had Bluetooth headphones on, kind of like what you're wearing. All right. But I didn't see the strap going between them behind his neck. Instead, there was a little strap going up to a disc implanted in his head on each side.
Yeah.
A cochlear implant.
All right.
Yep.
They were like Razer logoed out. Like gaming. I hadn't seen that before. Like I said, God bless the little kid. I'm sure he's been through hell. But I hadn't seen that before. And if I'd have been drunk, I'd have mistaken him for a cyborg.
But you didn't mistake him for a cyborg.
No, because I wasn't drunk.
No, because he is a cyborg.
Well, I hope he has Bluetooth.
See, I'm thinking more along the lines of iBoy.
See, that was the one that I missed out on. I didn't watch that one still. All right, next one. Teleportation. And here we're not talking about a photon because we know that's already been done. We're talking about something, I'm going to say, the size of a peanut or bigger. All right? Like a peanut in a shell.
It's important to say what the percent is. 26%.
26% of people think that teleportation will be done in our lifetime.
No.
So out of 14,000 people, 3,600 thought that teleportation was going to happen.
Yeah.
Now, all I am going to say about this is if it happens, if it becomes viable, okay?
Then you need a Scottish man behind the control panel.
No, that's not where I was going, but it's a good idea. No. The price of goods better go down exponentially.
Oh, I think
because shipping costs are no longer a factor.
I think it depends on how much energy it takes to move it. You know?
Well, see, now you're getting into why it probably won't happen. But by the time it happens, they'll have cracked nuclear fission. Fission or fusion?
I'll give you teleportation of inanimate objects.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of ways you can do that. Teleportation of actual living things, no.
You don't think so?
No. See, inanimate objects, you just put it in a glorified scanner and have a 3D printer on the other side rebuild it.
Well, that's not teleport, though. That's replicate.
But if it destroys the original thing, you get the same effect.
But then you're just destroying it for the hell of it to say I moved it.
There's a lot of theories about how teleporters in science fiction work, where some of them do just that.
Nah.
I'm curious what else was...
Well, that's the problem. See, the link goes to a 3M website where the data is not easy to crawl. So I was curious as well what the rest of the questions were, but boy, it doesn't make it easy to look for what the rest of them are.
Yeah, I ain't gonna...
I
won't bother.
Yeah, no. So, anyway.
But see, this brings up an interesting thing, though. The website shows a picture of this flying car that looks almost like something out of Buck Rogers.
All right, we're not answering that call. Because that was a personal call.
Okay. So, it looks the flying car looks like something out of Buck Rogers.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of flying car I want to see. Not the taxi cab that looks like a 57 Chevy from The Fifth Element.
Right.
Okay? Just mental note, Elon Musk.
If you make a flying car, you must do it in the shape of a DeLorean. At least the first one.
No, or Lola.
Yeah. All right. Or the one, what's the one from, I don't know, I think it was a one-off. In fact, I know it was a one-off from The Last Starfighter. I want to see that one too.
Oh, the Star Car.
Yeah, the Star Car. Okay, next on the list. Mike, you pick the next topic.
Okay, so yeah, let's talk about this one because you posted this one up. Actually, no. 2 different cases.
Oh, okay.
Daycare workers have caught wind of the benefits of melatonin.
Yep.
Okay, so the first one I actually posted up, and that was one of the first links for this show. Where the heck is it now?
It's way up there. It's a CBS link. So yeah.
Okay. So in Des Plaines, wherever the heck that is,
it's up near Chicago.
outside of Chicago, daycare workers gave their kids gummy bears that were laced with melatonin as snacks just before nap time to get them to go to sleep.
Now, for those of you that aren't familiar with what melatonin is, all right, it's an over-the-counter sleep aid. All right, now it's primarily marketed towards adults, and one of the big selling points for it is it can help you adjust for jet lag. All right, that's as per the Wikipedia article. It is available over the counter. You don't have to have a prescription for it, but they do recommend that you discuss it with your doctor because dosing can be very specific to each individual person. Normally goes anywhere between 0.5 milligram and 20 milligrams per person, and it's going to vary person to person to person. You know, it all depends on body weight, digestion, all this kind of stuff. It comes in a bunch of different forms: pills, liquids, chewable tablets, all that kind of stuff, even injections. So it is, because I was under the assumption this was something fairly new. All right, and I also thought originally, before I started diagnosing this, that it was something that you needed a prescription for. It's not. It's just available, ready. Anybody can go up and buy it.
Yep.
And it's marketed as a natural sleep aid. All right, it is not designed for long-term use, and there are a lot of studies around it. It's used especially in children, all right, that are not complete yet. All right, so if they said that there are some studies, but they're all inconclusive. The use of this as a sleep aid for children with ADHD, all right, whose brains don't shut off normally. Melatonin is a natural chemical which your body creates once it's removed from sunlight. All right, that's what starts your sleep cycle, and so that's one of the reasons why if you've gotten onto these blue light filter things. Your phone shifts into a different mode at a certain time of night. That's because the light from your device can actually stop your brain from producing melatonin and keep you up longer. So the blue filter is designed to stop that wavelength of light from entering your receptors and performing that so that you can actually get some sleep. I did a bunch of research on this just today. So the
first story in Chicago, they were lacing the gummy bears before nap time to get them to calm down so they actually would take their naps. And I don't believe that they were using high doses. However, they were doing it without telling anybody.
Yeah.
So that's a problem.
That's the big problem. Well, that's one of the big problems there is, and according to police, the bottle contained 120 gummy bears. All right, there were 4 left in the bottle.
Yep.
And let's be straight. This was 3 teachers that this was restricted to in one classroom. All right, so This wasn't an entire school or daycare. This was 3 teachers in one classroom, doing this. And, they've reached out, and all 3 are due to appear April 4th at the Skokie Courthouse. They're being charged with 2 counts of child endangerment and 2 counts of battery because there was a previous thing for the battery. Something like that, I think. So,
So then we have the owner of a daycare in Oregon.
Well,
It was an in-home daycare.
The owner of an illegal daycare. Daycare owner, the is what the title says.
Yeah.
If you read through, it says she was running a daycare out of her house, came out under surveillance after her former roommate and boyfriend. Now, I don't know if that's former roommate's boyfriend or if it was her former boyfriend who's now with the roommate. That could be a reason why she's not there anymore.
Well, it said it's both.
Yeah. Police
because it says police said they saw.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying I don't know if it's the roommate's boyfriend or whether it was this lady's former boyfriend. And
I got you. Yeah.
Either way, so this woman was running an illegal child care operation called Little Giggles. Okay? And I know you're not supposed to judge a book by its cover. And by all means, we are not against people with tattoos. All right? But I would not, on the surface, trust this woman or the other three that we talked about previously with my children. All right? One of the other three that we talked about looks like she's either on meth or got slashed in the face with a knife during a meth fight. Okay?
There was definitely meth involved.
Yes, meth was involved. There's no question about it. The other one looks like a sex trafficking victim. So, you know.
That's where they got the melatonin from. It was originally being used to cut the melatonin with.
Yeah. But this one, running the illegal daycare, is 32 years old, which, good Lord, she's been rode hard and put away wet, because she looks 40 at least. Was seen leaving her house twice while watching supposedly 7 children. Okay? And these were ages, I believe, 4 and younger. She told the parents that they could not come and pick their children up in between the hours of 11 and 2 because that was dedicated nap time. Well, what it really was an opportunity for her to leave, take her own children to school, and then go tan and to her CrossFit gym. Oh, boy. Educator of the year right here.
So she got sentenced to 21 years in jail.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know?
Because she got hit with 11 counts of first-degree criminal mistreatment and 1 count of third-degree assault. The assault is because a child in her care was burned because she overheated a bottle of milk.
Well, it said they were sent to the hospital with multiple head injuries, and she admitted to overheating a bottle of milk, giving the child burns. Okay, the bottle of milk couldn't be responsible for the head injuries. All right? I have never drank a hot cup of cocoa and then banged my head against the wall.
No, the head injuries were probably from the kids walking around and then collapsing.
Yeah, falling down.
Falling asleep while walking.
You know?
It's like Mr. T in the A-Team movie. Why's my head hurt?
I ain't going on no plane, Hannibal. Here, have a glass of milk. I told you I ain't going on no...
Boom.
Yeah.
Why's my head hurt? Well, remember, they dropped you.
Yeah.
What?
So, you know, these are obviously these are extreme cases of using melatonin. Yes. But like I said, it has not been proven effective for a lot of the cases that it's being used for.
Well, yeah, it's like
now, see,
the other things, yeah.
I take a supplement. It's called Dream Water. Every once in a while, when I really want to just get a good night's sleep. One of the ingredients is melatonin. There's also an ingredient called GABA, and I forget what the other one is, but it doesn't help me fall asleep. What it does is it kind of helps me shut my brain off so that when I do fall asleep, I sleep through the night.
Right. And
I know it affects people different. Like Kim takes a couple melatonin, and then 30 minutes later, she's like, okay.
Yeah.
She's out.
Yeah. And if you have a valid use for it, and you're under a doctor's care, by all means, do what the doctor tells you to do. We are not physicians.
No.
We didn't even sleep at a Holiday Inn Express.
I'm also going to tell you that with our one Yorkie, Annie, who passed away last year, she had canine dementia. She would wander around the house at night. We got to a point where we were giving her a milligram of melatonin before bed so that she would just sleep instead of pacing and walking the house all night.
Right. And but like I said, there haven't been a whole lot of long-term studies done. And so I hear we actually know someone all three of us actually know someone from the show, which I'll tell you who it is later. Well, see, that's the thing, Mama Blair. Back when we were growing up, we didn't have melatonin. If you wanted a kid to go to sleep, you give him a Benadryl.
Look,
right?
They didn't call it the good night juice for nothing.
It was the $7 babysitter. That's what that was just what it was.
Speaking of, there was a daycare operator who was got.
Yeah, and
wait.
One of Colin's sisters says, it was brought up there that when she was doing daycare, she wasn't allowed to leave the room even to use the restroom. And I mean, that's true. There you have to have a certain number of adult-to-child coverage in licensed, well-operating daycare facilities.
That's right. I saw Daddy Daycare too.
And
right.
Yeah.
Now listen, we're not going to talk about marijuana right now. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we're not going to get into a discussion about the legalization of marijuana. But yeah.
All for it. Anyway.
Go green.
A Connecticut daycare owner was sentenced for killing a baby with a Benadryl overdose.
Good Lord, how much Benadryl did they take?
Don't know.
Because I'll tell you right now, I give my dogs 2 a day.
But I'm looking at this going, how long did that what you're talking about, how long was she in jail? Prison for?
Well, she's
going to jail for 21 years.
Yeah.
So the woman who killed a baby got 30 months.
Yeah, our justice system is so dumb. All right. Meanwhile, there was some shooter that got out in like 18. It was ridiculous.
So, okay, but what they're not telling you is she was sentenced to 21 years, but she's probably only going to do.
Yeah. What's your sentence?
Developing right now 3 suburban.
That's the maximum sentence. That's not what she's necessarily going to get sentenced.
Right.
Oh,
so
okay. The maximum sentence makes more sense.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, consult a physician, do everything with a physician in mind.
And if you're a daycare operator, don't give kids medicine that the parents have not provided.
Listen, if you're a daycare worker, owner, operator, God bless you. And that's all I will say. Okay, drink when you get out of work.
Just not at.
By the way, there was recently there's a couple of stories on this in a similar vein, talking about what Mama Blair had actually discussed. There have been a couple of things. One is there's a new plan out for our state, because this is what we do, to allow students to use medical pot in school. And it's evidently it was spurred by a lawsuit that some parents launched to allow their daughter to use medical marijuana at a suburban grade school, because that's what we need. In association and under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act and the Americans with Disabilities Act. So now getting your weed while you're studying is covered under the IDEA and ADA.
Well,
this is for an 11-year-old, by the way.
Look, here's the thing. All right, medical marijuana in most states covers, also by definition, when you read into it, it covers CBD oil, which I jokingly said before about cancer. But I have seen the video evidence that for folks with Parkinson's, CBD oil is very effective at reducing tremors.
And I joke about this.
So,
this girl is actually suffering the effects of the fallback effects of chemotherapy because she has leukemia.
Okay.
So I can understand given her age, that this might be needed. Again, here, just like Mike said, they're probably not talking about her lighting up a doobie in the nurse's office.
No, they're probably not.
They're not even talking about hash brownies.
No.
No.
Or those cannabis gummies that we talked about on the last show.
No, exactly. I mean, that's part of the problem with the laws in the country, is the way that they lump everything together. It's a problem. Here we go. We're going to get political. Same reason why, there's no reason that an agriculture bill should include a clause about dog tethering.
Yeah.
Or something that's very vaguely related, and that becomes a sticking point to prevent the bill from passing. If you're going to pass a bill, it should be one issue, not 33 issues on a package deal kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I believe might be a victim of delay here, but so it might have been a control. There's probably more than one case that we're talking about. I'm sure that there's a case out there where it's that medical marijuana or of some form is being used to control seizures, like I said.
And I'm gonna play devil's advocate here and say that I agree that there are situations that we need to address this in, and that it does need to be allowed. But I also think we need to be we need to be aware of a potential for a slippery slope, because next thing you know, it'll be just like the emotional support therapy animals on airplanes. All right. Well, where all I have to do is pay $50 and I get a coat for my dog, so that I don't have to pay for a ticket for him.
Now, here's the interesting part about that. A service animal is different than an emotional support animal.
Agreed.
Now, an emotional support animal, you can go and you can pay $50 to get a vest or what have you. However, emotional support animals are not guaranteed the same rights as certified service animals by the ADA.
Right. And I know we have talked about that before, and I know, but I also know that the air companies have, decided that they want to try and not be, not get attacked on social media one way or the other, which is why they allow stupid emotional support peacocks.
No, actually, I don't think they allowed the peacock.
Oh, did they? I couldn't remember.
That's why they started putting a
okay,
block
good.
On.
Yeah, and let's also talk about the college student who allegedly was told by a Spirit Airlines employee that she had to flush her emotional support hamster.
Oh yeah,
down the toilet.
I think we did talk about that.
Yeah.
All right, let's get on to something. Let's get on to yes,
because actually, you have another story in there
about what? About flights?
About sleeping.
About sleeping. Which one
for the experience we just have gone through, the changing of daylight savings time.
Oh, yes. All right. So let's talk daylight savings time, because it is a big deal. And, right now, for example, our church had PJ Preach Day, where all the kids, because of the time change, got to wear their PJs to church in the morning, because they were getting robbed an hour. So we thought, well, they won't have to get up and change clothes. They can just come to church in their pajamas.
Nice.
It was kind of a cool little thing for the kids to do. Every once in a while you got to keep them involved. So what was interesting, though, is that one of the kids was getting baptized that day, and so the adult leader is there in her giant adult onesie pajama doing the ceremony.
Nice.
She goes, I normally don't dress for church like this. So that's the only reason why I knew why all the kids were walking around in pajamas. So there has been a movement for a while that daylight savings time is ridiculous. All right, and why do we do this, moving clocks forward one way and back the other way? And who really invented it, and why did they really invent it, and all these things? And by the way, Benjamin Franklin didn't really invent it. All right, he suggested it for the U.S. to adopt, but he didn't invent it, which I got in trouble. I will fully admit. I did a post. Let's see if I can bring it up here. I did a little art project and I posted it on Reddit because well, sometimes some of the stuff I do doesn't pan out so well on our social media feed. So, let's see here. Time. But, basically saying, hey, I'm not sure that we really need to do daylight savings time. Maybe we should just skip it. So, this is what I wrote. Germany popularized DST. Don't be a Nazi. Say no to clock changes.
Wow.
By the way, factually accurate. Not that any... Well, and then I get a whole bunch of people who don't understand comedy who go... Because that references World War I. And they go, the Nazi Party wasn't established until after World War I. I'm like, okay. But you associate Germany to Nazis. That's what you do, right? I mean, So I was making a joke and people didn't get it. So I got hate mail. Yeah, especially now that standard time is only a few months. What good is daylight savings time? So there has been a movement for the last few years, I know at least the last 5, to just do away with this crazy changing of clocks.
Yes.
And so
First,
I'd like to get you guys' opinions.
Well, I hate it. I hate it in the spring. Kind of like it in the fall.
You like that extra hour.
I kind of like that extra hour in the fall.
That's really not an hour. Okay.
I kind of like Florida's approach. But my problem with Florida's approach is, why not just get everybody to change what time they start instead of changing time itself?
So, what time they start? What do you mean? Like shift everybody's work hours?
Yes.
All right. I don't know that that's going to work out so well.
Because, for those who don't know, Florida has now signed a law.
Yep.
It's gone through the governor's desk, but it cannot take effect unless the feds do something. That has said that, because there's a lot of states there's a couple of states that do not do daylight savings.
Hawaii and Arizona.
Right.
Basically, it is legal to exempt yourself from daylight savings time, from observing daylight savings time. Federal law says you can exempt yourself.
And I think parts of Indiana.
Possibly. In this article, they just mentioned Arizona and Hawaii.
But Florida wants to do the opposite. They just want to be daylight savings time all the time.
And that is against federal law right now.
Well, it's not allowed under federal law.
Right. So, and the way their bill says when/if the government says this, then our law will go into effect as well.
Yes.
So, if my parents say I can stay out till midnight, I can stay out till midnight, is what that says.
If my parents say that I can stay up until midnight, then I will be stayed up till midnight.
Yeah. So, but this article that I'm looking at from Slashdot says really there's 2 other suggestions that would be better.
There's 2 other suggestions. Neither are better.
Well, they say they would be better. All right. They say either split the continental United States into 2 time zones separated by 2 hours. All right. Because that would divide the daylight correctly. Okay. They said that's the simplest plan to fix everything. Okay, whatever. 2 time zones as opposed to 3 that we have now. 4 that we have now. We could deal with that. Or they say, long range, let's just get rid of time zones and everybody works off the same clock.
Yeah. Now, first off, where's Maryland? So there's some real ivory tower people here in Maryland going, everybody should just have the same time zone we have. It's great. It's a wonderful time zone. I haven't had any problems with it.
Okay, this one I don't get this one. All right, I understand. You don't want to observe. You don't want to go with it. That's fine. But if you don't change the clocks in your house and you have to constantly remember whether you got to add an hour or subtract an hour or whatever, or do magic conversions every time you got to meet somebody or go somewhere, wow.
Not only that, but they've changed the date like 4 times, of when it takes effect and when it doesn't take effect.
See, here's my problem. Spring forward. So now in Jersey, the sun doesn't set until about 7 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And this is day one. By like midsummer, sun doesn't set until like 9 o'clock.
Yeah, same around here.
Right? So, then we fall back. But the sun still sets at like 5. If you're lucky at the peak. So, my problem is the clocks need to be adjusted in a way that you're consistent. So the sun sets around the same time in both summer and winter.
Except for that would shorten your actual day. Because
I don't care.
The physical day is actually shorter, Mike. We would actually have to change the way time works.
Well, it's no different than any of these other stupid solutions that everybody else is talking about. It's just as feasible.
Well, nobody's talking about creating the Martian calendar. All right. But they when I saw everybody.
Okay, look. All you folks that are all aggravated and think that this is a horrible idea, move to Barrow, Alaska, where they have 30 days of day and then 30 days of night. It don't matter what time the clock says. Okay, daylight savings time, sure, whatever. The only thing you got to worry about is vampires.
I was watching a special from there the other day where the guys are sitting around drinking beer going, it's lovely, isn't it? Yeah, we probably should go to bed. It's 2 a.m. And it's as bright as it could possibly be.
Exactly.
You know? But, you know, when I saw, hey, everybody work off the same clock, I'm like, Stardate. Let's just call it Stardate. Let's go for it now. Everybody works off a Stardate. Let's just start Gene Roddenberry's calendar.
That's something that's never really been answered, though. Because Stardate is the actual day. But when they schedule meetings at Starfleet Command, they don't go by Stardate. They go by... There's got to be a time somewhere, okay? Now you're going to make me go back and watch every Star Trek movie to find out that anybody wear a freaking watch.
There actually is an explanation in the tech manuals for Star Trek that explains Stardate.
Yeah, but if I remember right, it changes.
Well,
the original series did it one way, and the Next Generation did it a different way. And
that's Warp. Warp itself changed.
No, I'm talking about Stardate actually changed.
But they explained the reason, not how it worked.
Mm-hmm.
The reason behind Stardate is because of time dilation.
Right.
So when you're traveling faster than light, time actually gets kind of weird. And for the most part, the warp drive is supposed to keep that from happening, but it still happens a bit. So because of that, the Stardate system is actually, if I remember correctly, Stardate is relative to the actual ship.
So you are your own time beacon. Well, no, because they had time beacons.
Yes. The time beacons help regulate everything altogether. But the Stardate is actually to that ship.
Boy, nobody knew they were going to go down this rabbit hole.
So, where did this appear on that list of 14,000 people?
Now, a couple years back, Swatch tried to create their own thing called Swatch Internet Time.
Oh, jeez.
That was supposed to be a worldwide.
Doesn't Linux base theirs on seconds since the operating system was created or something?
Yeah,
listen,
kind of like the same thing.
I don't know what's more scary, the fact that you knew this or the fact that we actually mentioned Swatch in an episode. Holy crap! Swatch with the stupid rubber band guard thing that blocked the.
Well, what's worse is that Swatch time was decimal.
All right.
I can't.
So we all agree we hate daylight savings time. We don't know what the answer is, though.
No, I don't hate it. All right, so I saw a bunch of posts on Facebook like, daylight savings time, I'm so behind, I feel that... Okay, look, for the first day, I'm confused about what time I should eat. That's the reality of it. don't go to sleep by a clock. I go to sleep when I'm tired.
Yeah.
And I do wake up by a clock because I have to work at a certain time, but I don't understand this. Like, if you live and die by the clock, if you let the clock dictate how you feel, then maybe I'm confused because I don't understand why it has this big of an impact. The thing that aggravates me is that I don't have time to do stuff outside after work in the winter because it's dark at 4 o'clock. Now I like having the sun out longer during the summer because we can enjoy the yard and what have you more.
Yep.
But I don't care. It's confusing. I wish it was a set date, or at least the first or second Sunday in March every year. Fine, but like you said, it seems to change, and I understand there's a scientific reason why, but
all right. Well, let's go on to something we can all definitely agree about. How would we all like to make $1 million in 24 hours?
Yes,
let's go for it.
All right. So everybody, fire up the link that I sent. BuzzFeed has a test. You're starting your day without a single cent to your name. Do you think you can make $1 million in just 24 hours? Let's find out. So in this case, you have no money, but you have stuff. All right? So.
I'm trying to find, is this the Walmart thing?
No. It was,
There we go.
Yep, there you go.
Should have said it's the one with the crab on it.
Yeah, sorry. It's got Mr. Krabs from SpongeBob on it. Okay, so first thing up, you have no money but a lot of stuff. Pick something to sell. You got an Xbox One, a iPhone, looks like an older iPhone, a watch, or part of your wardrobe. What are you going to sell? I'm going to pick the Xbox. Mike, what are you selling?
I picked the Xbox as well.
I picked the phone.
Okay. You thought that would be worth a lot more. Sell a treasured family heirloom. You've got a grandfather's locket, an aunt's pageant tiara, mother's prize silver, or an engagement ring. Grandmother's engagement ring. Bye-bye tiara. Mike, how about you?
Selling the engagement ring.
Colin?
Silverware.
Mama Blair, sorry, your silverware is gone. In the pawn shop, you notice something you're pretty sure you could resell elsewhere. What is it? You're looking at either a dirty pocket watch, a cracked ceramic bowl, an old painting, or a dusty blanket. Cold. I'm going with the blanket. Mike, how about you?
I'm going to go with the pocket watch.
Colin?
I also went with the blanket.
Okay. 6:55 a.m. While leaving, you decide to buy a lottery ticket. Pick which one you want. You got a green one, a pink one, a super million, or a million bag. I'm taking the 100 times my cash one. Mike, how about you?
Super million.
So did I.
All right. 7 o'clock in the morning. Pick a quick job to earn some extra cash. Dog walking, babysitting, door-to-door salesperson, or bike messenger. Well, I ain't dog walking or babysitting. Riding a bike. Colin, how about you? You riding a bike?
Also, I'm riding a bike.
Mike, how about you? You're dog
Seriously?
walking. You're
you
dog
have to
walking.
ask.
I was going to say, you're dog walking. You're still well short of $1 million. Maybe it's time to try out a more creative money-making method. Are you going to sell weed, rob a bank, start a Ponzi scheme, or no, I can't do this legally? No, I can do this legally.
I'm going to do it legally.
Ooh, I'm selling some pot. Mike, how about you?
Ponzi, baby.
All right. 4 p.m. Looks like you got away with it, and now you have enough money to start playing the stock market. What stocks do you trade? Here's your options. Facebook, Verizon, Bitcoin, Microsoft, Tesla, Snap, Amazon, Apple, Twitter, or Google, Netflix, and Electronic Arts. I'm going Amazon, Apple, Twitter. Mike, how about you?
Microsoft, Tesla, Snap.
Colin?
Google, Netflix, Electronic Arts.
6:30 in the evening. You started to feel pretty darn good and decided to head to the casino. What game do you play? Craps, poker, roulette, or slots? I think I'm going craps. Mike?
Roulette.
Colin?
Poker.
All right. 8:15. Wow, you actually won. Are you going to play again? Craps, poker, roulette, or nope, I'll quit while I'm ahead. I'm hitting craps again.
I'm still playing poker.
Mike?
I quit.
Before leaving, you decide to stop by the racetrack, pick a horse to bet on. Are you doing number 7, Stable Condition, number 3, Henry Whizzlecheeks, number 2, Vermont Thunder, or number 6, Admiral Enchanting?
This quiz is really starting to... I'm questioning the validity of this quiz now.
I'm going Stable Condition. Mike, what are you going?
Vermont Thunder.
Colin?
Stable Condition because I can see other horses and it's in front of the other horses.
1:30 in the morning. Oh no, on your way home you stumble across an underground street racing venture and they're making you compete. Which car are you driving? A 2006 Mazda RX-7, a Dodge Charger, a 70 Dodge Charger RT, a 2002 Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 7, or a 69 Chevy Camaro Yenko? Oh, I'm going RX-7.
Me too.
Mike?
Going the Lancer.
Lancer. 4:35. Wow, it's been a long day, 24 hours, and you deserve to celebrate. Buy yourself a bottle of bubbly. Armand de Bernac, Krug, Dom Perignon, or Paul Roger. The only one I know is Dom Perignon, so I'm going with that. Mike, how about you?
I'm going to go with Paul Roger.
That would have Krug.
All right. And then it tells you what your answers are. So I got $790,115. It says those are some incredible earnings. You have a true knack for making money. Even so, you didn't quite reach $1 million. Try again to see if you can bridge the gap. Colin, how much did you make?
$901,970.
Wow! Mike,
what did he get?
$901,970.
989,850.
Holy smokes!
But
yep,
was also arrested and sentenced to 10 years in jail for consumer fraud. Because of my Ponzi scheme.
Your Ponzi scheme didn't work out so well. All right, and I'm going to say right now, don't call in because my phone decided to perform a system update all of a sudden. Because that's what a cracked screen does, is it makes you do a system update. All right. So with that said, it is, I think, now time. But that's one of our most successful competitions, I think, between us.
So technically, Colin won.
Technically, Colin won because Colin's not in the pokey.
But it didn't say that I had to pay the money back.
I think if you went to jail, I think they faked it.
Assuming they find it.
Yeah, well, any gains gotten through illegal methods, are turned over to the police. So, all right. Now we will move on to our double feature movie review. This evening, we had 2 movies. We decided that we would do the original Goon, available on Netflix, and we would do So Undercover, also available on Netflix. So 2 Netflix shows tonight, and of course, the one week I didn't write reviews. I see that Mike has a page or so. First of all, did everybody watch both of them?
Yes, I watched both of them with my parents.
All right. Boy, I bet one of them was a little bit uncomfortable. Or maybe. I don't know. I know one of them was uncomfortable for me. So... Now, originally we were supposed to watch Goon, the second one, but we decided we would watch the first one since I don't think either of us, Colin, had seen the first one yet. So, All right, who wants to go first, and which movie do you want to go first with? Colin, what movie do you want to go with?
Let's do So Undercover first.
So Undercover first. Mike, who do you want to go first?
You can go first.
All right. So Undercover, boy, I had some real reservations about this movie from the beginning and for about the first 30 minutes, honestly. Because, all right, so we have Miley Cyrus, all right, and we have Jeremy Piven in this movie. And that's why I put it on the list. Mostly because of Jeremy Piven, because PCU. I've got to watch the show that has the guy from PCU in it. All right? So what I didn't know at the time that we found out last show was this was directed by her mother. All right? So that kind of explains a lot of the casting. What this movie ended up being for me was a combination of Miss Congeniality, starring Sandra Bullock, and Man of the House, starring Tommy Lee Jones. All right? If you take those two good movies, relatively good movies, and you smash them together, all right, you end up with something kind of like So Undercover. That's the closest analogy I can get to it. In this case, you end up with a girl with who played the dad in this, because he's very familiar. He's like that actor.
That's Mike O'Malley.
Okay, that you know from a bunch of different things, but you know,
including wasn't he out of control? Or was that somebody else? Remote Control.
That was somebody else. That was Colin Quinn.
Yeah,
that was Colin. No,
you're getting your Irish actors mixed up.
I thought Colin Quinn was the announcer.
No,
on Remote Control.
No, because you had to sing along with Colin.
You're right.
The host was and
does something.
Aubert.
Yeah, something like that. So, anyway,
the host is dead. I know that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so Michael Manley was Guts. That's it.
So, so in reality, this movie wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. All right, I really had super low expectations for this movie, and other than a few parts where it was dreadfully slow, all right, it did okay. But I've seen this all played out before. Like I said, this was so textbook miscongeniality from the setup that I could just see some of the jokes coming along. And so that's what disappointed me the most out of it. Was I'm like, okay, yeah, I've seen this before. Okay, this scene, these are all exact rehashes. This is almost formulaic. So that's what bored me. They could have done a lot better job if they'd have just tried to step out of the formula a little bit. But in the end, I thought it was a pretty good, decent movie. I did like a couple. I did like the change they made about 2/3 of the way through the movie, or maybe 3/4 of the way through the movie. I'm not going to say it was a twist or it wasn't a twist, but it was something that happened. So I like that, and so yeah. In the end, I will give this one a smile. I don't know that I'll necessarily watch it again unless I watch it with my wife. I told the wife I thought this was going to be a steaming pile of crap, so she didn't need to watch it. So
I'll go ahead and go real quick. I think the twist helped explain the plot because the plot was stupid before that. I mean, it was still stupid, but the giant colossal hole in the plot was answered by the twist. So that was good. What I think this thing proved is that her mother does not trust that Miley Cyrus has any ability to act. Because this is a movie designed for a pop star who's doing a movie who doesn't know how to act. And was surrounded by a whole bunch of other people who themselves can't act either. The problem is that Miley Cyrus actually has lots of acting experience. She had her own show. So she actually was out acting everybody else. Michael Manley was still good too, because he's always good. But between those two, it made the movie even worse. Because they actually... It was like they were in a slightly different movie than everybody else. And even Jeremy Piven seemed to be purposefully acting like a bad actor. And it was unnecessary for Miley Cyrus's actual talent level. I don't like Miley Cyrus. Just saying, she outacted this movie, which is weird. My favorite part of this movie was when Miley Cyrus was playing Tom Cruise, jumping around the outside of a building. That was quite hilarious. But beyond that, it was I like anything where I can see shots of New Orleans. I thought it was a very competently directed and shot movie. Other than bad plot, bad acting, and an okay script, the actual movie looked good. And we had fun, so it's a smile.
All right.
All right, you're up, Mike.
So, I hit play and I'm thinking to myself, what the hell has our show come to that we're reviewing a Miley frickin' Cyrus movie? I mean, bad movies are one thing, but Miley Cyrus, really? Okay, so side note, one of the first things I noticed before she meets Jeremy Piven, she's taking pictures of a guy, and I'm pretty sure that that's the exact camera that I own, which is a Panasonic. But no real private investigator would use a camera that doesn't have a detachable lens, even if it does have a 60 times optical zoom. Just saying. So now they start talking, and I can't help but wonder if Jeremy Piven tried to get his freak on with Miley Cyrus behind the scenes, and that's what caused Miley to go all ballistic and crazy with the smoking and the twerking and the crazy hairstyle and what have you. Just an odd thought. Truly don't know if I can get Miley or can stay along with this if Miley tries to be college cutesy the whole time, like, oh, what Ev? Oh, as ifs. One thing that I'm sure of at this point is I can guarantee that if Colin had not gotten rid of his EOS before this movie, he would have after watching it. And oh, great! Now we get Kelly Osbourne. Fantastic. I guess Pearl White Bentley is the sorority version of World Peace, a beauty pageant. At 27 minutes and 51 seconds, they say the title of the movie as a line in the movie. Now, I'm going to start pointing this out because I have a theory, and I've had this theory for a long time, that 95% or more of all movies actually say the title of the movie at some point. What the hell sorority house has a sprinkler system? And this is going to sound so sexist, but all of these sorority girls in white dresses with a sprinkler system, and we don't even have a single nip slip at all. Then they go and they're borrowing each other's thongs. What kind of house is this? Haven't you ever heard of yeast infections? Come on now. The hell kind of place has a damn guard gator instead of a dog?
It's New Orleans.
Yeah, well, I was actually expecting that to have more significance later on. Like somebody was going to be getting eaten by the gator. Quote unquote, best line of the movie. All right, and this may have saved the movie for me. I want to go to Candy Mountain and float on the tears of unicorns. I swear to Christ, I am going to use that line at some point. And if I had thought about it, I would have used this line at the event that I hosted on Friday. So, Puke to Schnikes, I'm going to give this one a smirk. Shaggy, you said it was kind of like Miss Congeniality meets the Man of the House.
Yep.
I said it was like Miss Congeniality meets the House Bunny.
Okay, yep.
And while it wasn't a great movie, it was kind of entertaining. And it was refreshing to see Miley Cyrus how she was before she went off the rails, because contrary to popular belief or popular opinion, I actually think Miley Cyrus is very talented. I think she had at that time she had a lot of potential to be a huge artist, and not saying that she isn't, but I think she could have been a lot more of a superstar if she hadn't gone off the rails and went all crazy with herself.
I think she's coming back around, though. That she did that.
She is. I will agree with that.
But she's still... Anyway. One thing I would say, I did love how New Orleans it was. Like, the way that Miley Cyrus's character gets past the alligator is by throwing the alligator Zapp's potato chips. Which are probably my favorite potato chips in the world. But really, I mean, if you can find them outside New Orleans, they're usually like older ones. So, yeah.
Okay. So let's see. We got, obviously, don't know Colin's parents.
Yep.
About what?
I don't know. What part was I?
I said that it would be uncomfortable.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
But that was but that is moving on to movie number 2.
Well, and then a red AOS undercover car. Well, yeah, at a college.
Yeah, at a college, it makes sense.
Yeah, but not when you're trying to, follow somebody on the street.
Yeah.
Well, no, but the motorcycle didn't make a whole hell of a lot more sense. So
no.
By the way, I'm pretty sure at least later, when she had the camera when Jerry Piven first finds her, it's an EOS E90.
Well, she had 4 different times. She had 4 different cameras. I actually noticed that after I made the note about the.
That's the only
Panasonic,
one I noticed was that she had a Canon there.
Because she also had a 7D, I think.
Maybe that's the one she had there. What I was thinking.
All right. So our second movie was Goon.
Yes.
And I'll go first on this one, if that's all right. So Goon stars Stifler, who is names escapes me at this point, but who I've also seen in The Rundown.
Sean William Scott.
Yeah, Sean William Scott. And, he plays Sean William Scott. He plays Sean William Scott in The Rundown. He plays him in Goon. He plays him in American Pie. He plays him in every single movie that he's in. I mean, it's
lie.
It's the same guy.
Dukes of Hazzard.
He was the same guy. All right? He's always the same guy.
Bulletproof Monk.
Same guy. Yes. In all those movies. He is Sean William. They might as well just say Sean William Scott playing himself. All right? And they just should call him Sean in every single one. But so I told my wife, because she asked me, she goes, well, let's watch one of your movies. Okay, fine. I'll watch Goon, whatever. And she goes, well, what's it like? I said, well, from what Mike told me, it's kind of like Happy Gilmore. It's a Happy Gilmore type story, where this guy's not really good at anything, and then somebody sees him beating up a fan, and suddenly now he's the enforcer on the hockey team. I'm like, that's what I know. It's kind of like, Happy Gilmore. And she goes, oh, okay, well, I like Happy Gilmore. And I'm like, well, you hate Adam Sandler, so how can you like Happy Gilmore? But besides the point, all right, fine, let's watch it. So, first of all, the opening has about as much blood as many of the B horror movies that we've watched, sci-fi movies that we've watched. Turbo Kid, for example. All right. And so she was instantly just, ready to say, all right, I'm done. But she stuck through it. What a trooper. And she was rewarded with even more blood and punches on the ice. And she keeps saying, well, this isn't really what hockey's about, is it? And I'm like, well, I think they dramatized it a little bit. But I don't know. You'd have to ask Mike, because from my knowledge, which is all coming from movies, yeah, it's kind of close. It's like boxing with skates. So, this whole movie, if you're not watching somebody getting the crap beat out of them, and you're not watching somebody half naked or doing drugs, then it's an emotional part of the movie. All right, so you're excited or emotional for one reason or another. All right, in this whole thing. I will say it did keep my attention because I didn't know what was going to happen next. Close my eyes, cry, open them wide. I didn't know what was going to happen, and I think that the love interest in the story is very unique. I have never seen one like that in any movie. All right, they have some really unique characters in this film, and so I will give it that. I did not watch the sequel yet, but it is on my list of things to watch, even though, we may not watch it for the show, but even though that's one of the things, I think I'll watch the sequel just to see what the heck happens next. So, again, I'll give this one a smile just because it did keep me entertained for a good long time. The wife would give it a puke in a moment's notice, by the way. She was like, well, I'm glad that's over. And so, so this is a guy movie. I will tell you 100%, this is it was primarily aimed at a male audience. All right. Colin, you want to go next and we'll let Mike do cleanup so that he can correct any of our incorrect hockey term usage?
Yes. So, this movie in some ways reminds me of some other movies that I like Kingsman movies.
Mm-hmm.
Deadpool a bit. I watched this with my parents. We had a blast watching it at Schneike's.
All right.
Wow.
Is that his first one, Mike?
No, he gave Get Santa
Okay.
the Schneike's. Oh, wait, actually.
Well, there's
else did he
also
give?
the honorary Schneike's that was given to that bad movie that I just had fun watching. But Get Santa and this one are the actual real Schneike's.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So,
Wow. Short
All
review,
right.
too.
Well, there's not much to say about it. It was a blast.
All right. So I actually wrote this one out. So since I watched it a long time ago when it first came out, I didn't feel right doing bullet points. I did have to go back and rewatch it to refresh my memory a little bit. So let me start by saying this. This is not a hockey movie. This is a movie with a hockey subplot. So if you're going to ask me about the legitimacy of the hockey scenes, I'm going to tell you to go shit in your hat. The biggest mystery, even bigger than the thought that they made a sequel to this, is how they got Liv Schreiber, who I consider to be a really good actor, to be not in just the first movie, but the second as well. Then you get Kim Coates, known for his amazing role in that cinema classic Officer Down, as well as Sons of Anarchy, Waterworld, among other things. He's another amazing actor in this piece of shit movie. Sean William Scott, a.k.a. Stifler, a.k.a. Luke Duke, Bo Duke, one of the Dukes. Good actor, but not great. Jay Baruchel. All right, I guess not everyone can be a star. So now I have to point out that this movie gets a really bad rap in the goalie community of hockey for a few reasons. First of all, the gear the goalies wear is like senior level gear. No professional would be caught dead wearing the stuff that they wear. Second, in the locker room scene, the goalie has his pads on the wrong legs while he's getting dressed. That turns us into an instant movie that cannot be taken seriously. And see, generally speaking, there are two kinds of folks that like this movie. The ones that genuinely think it's a funny movie, and the ones that think fighting is actually a major part of the game of hockey. Schreiber's character says something that rings true more than anything else in this movie. All right? And it doesn't just apply to his role, it applies generally. Everyone loves the soldiers until they come home and stop fighting. That's why the days of the enforcer in hockey are near an end. You used to have a guy like Doug Glatt, like the enforcer guys, that all they did, their only job was to go out there and protect the superstars, to protect the goal scorers. Not anymore. Now you got guys that do both. That can score goals and are tough guys. So they're literally a dying breed. Now, let's stop and talk about the goal line stand by Doug in his face. First of all, when the goalie got knocked way the heck out of the crease, and the crease is the area in front of the goal, the play would have been stopped by the referee. That's called goalie interference. Second, why did Doug not lift his hands to stop the puck? Nobody's that stupid. Nobody is that stupid. You have a padded glove. Put your hands up. Protect your face. The first fight, he puts his head down so the guy will punch the top of his head. He's got a helmet on. He could have went like that. Could have been safe. No. Takes puck right to the face. Third, why didn't the referee blow the whistle to stop play after Doug got hit in the face with the puck? If you're going to make a hockey movie or a movie that has anything to do with hockey, you have to follow some rules of the game. Okay? Don't even get me started on the broken ankle during the fight. Please do not get me started on the broken ankle during the fight.
It's like when
rating
we watch
this
Hackers.
Rating this is not easy. I had to rate this in two parts. If you ask me to rate it as a hockey movie, there's no two ways about it. This is a puke. This is a solid 100% puke. But if because there was no accuracy to it, and unless the movie is a complete spoof of a sport like Blades of Glory or the basketball one that he was in, basically any Will Ferrell sports movie, this is a problem. You got to have some accuracy. As a comedy, I'll give it a smirk, only because the off-ice scenes and the interactions, I did like the interactions with the characters. I did like how they developed some of the relationships of the characters. I thought Kim Coates as a coach was he was excellent and was probably the most realistic hockey part in there. So officially, I'm going to give this a smirk.
Well, there you go.
I'll say if I cared about hockey at all, then I'm sure I would have hated the movie. But I just, to me, I was just watching a funny movie.
Like I said, it's probably like when you and I watch Hackers.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, and let me just also say for the record, I don't have a picture of my mom on my mask. But if I did, and anybody tried to do what the Russian guys did, there'd be hell to pay, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
All right, let's do two things. Mike, you tell us how many movies we have to go through, and I'm going to show everybody the bird real quick.
Oh, well.
All right, so there is...
Nice.
There is the bird camera. As you can tell, it is dark.
Yes, as my mom was posting up there, that movie won Best Comedy in Canada for its year.
Well, yeah, but you have to understand, there aren't that many comedies made in Canada in a year.
Yeah,
I mean, you had this, you had The Proposal, you had Canadian Bacon, you had Strange Brew. What else, really?
Hey, don't mess with Strange Brew, eh?
So,
I'd say my favorite scenes of that movie was Kim Coates drunk in the bar. I thought that was a very good drunk performance.
So
he probably was actually drunk too.
Yeah.
At that point.
Well, a lot of people method act, so that's what you got to do.
All right, so we've got 28 movies on the list.
All right, so
I'm praying for 10. I'm praying for 10. Praying for 10.
28. 21.
Security. It's an action adventure with Antonio Banderas.
Ooh, Antonio Banderas.
On Netflix, so somebody check and make sure it's still available.
And 17.
Hold on. 17 is River World off Amazon.
So security is still available.
Okay. And it's Antonio Banderas, so I have to believe that it will.
And River World is also it's still available.
Okay.
Huh. Weird. All right, I did not put River World in. I don't know who did.
I can tell you I did.
Okay.
I don't know if that's good or bad. And it's easy for me to tell the Amazon ones because the links all start with smile.amazon.
Ah, okay.
When I put them in there.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't admit to that, but okay.
No, that's fine. I just think we should add did we already add a column for who put it in?
No, we did not.
Should. So we probably should add that. All right. Oh, there looks like there's some good ones in here that maybe we should add. But all right. So that brings us to the end of the evening. All right. So you've been listening to PTR Radio. Like I said, thank you a lot for their current contribution, the Double Cola Company, the makers of Ski and Double Cola, as well as other fine beverages. We will be doing a ski run this next weekend, probably. So, we will have the official beverage in for the next show. We'll probably even have it to Mike, to tell you the truth. Mike, you can enjoy one on the show. You can do a taste test on the show.
Okay.
So,
And not of bacon beans.
yeah, not
okay.
bacon beans.
Hopefully they'll have flavors that you guys haven't tried, and we can all do a taste test together.
Yeah, we can do that.
Awesome.
So, with that said, we are going to be working on the website, but we do want you to check it out, ptrradio.com. As always, check out Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at PTR Radio on all those platforms. And again, we're going to be having this contest coming up, so stay tuned. That's where we're going to announce everything, as well as on the show. We are really going to need your help with this to show them that, hey, PTR Radio can be a force, and we do have reach. For them, it's all about results, and we want to show that we can do them. You guys did great with getting into the celebrity death pool and getting recruits. We need this to be even bigger. So expect to get spammed from us. That's just going to happen. And then we really need your help to make this happen. So with that all said, I'm Shaggy.
I'm Colin.
I'm Mike the Ape Man.
Stick a fork in us, folks. We are done later.